Hello everyone, it's Kristin. So as you may know, I've been studying Japanese for quite a few years now, and just recently I am studying Spanish as well. I want to share with you today 5 tips that have helped me to become a habitual language learner. I have actually struggled for many years to keep up a good language learning habit. It can feel daunting sometimes to wake up every morning and think, oh, I have to get on my Japanese studies and then my Spanish studies, and then you will also have a ton of other things to do on your to-do list. I have not always had the best study practices. I was more off and on for quite a long time just studying as a hobby and never getting anywhere concrete with it. The last couple of months, due to the fact that I have had so much extra time, I decided to redo the way that I study, and most importantly, make it a habit in my everyday life. I have 5 tips to share with you today that have totally changed the way that I study. Most importantly, it has changed the frequency of how often I study. It went from just whenever I felt like it to every day without fail. Tip number 1, do it first thing and reward yourself later. For instance, the first thing that I do every morning, I start my day with a book. Lately, I've been reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is actually the inspiration for a lot of these tips, and they really have been a game changer for me. So after I get done reading, I immediately start my Spanish studies. The reason I do Spanish first is because I have more of a base in Japanese, and so if for some reason I end up studying Spanish for a really long time and then don't have as much time for Japanese, that's okay. As long as I do my Japanese every day, what's important is that I take care of the baby language first. After my Spanish, I move on to my Japanese. This whole process does take quite a few hours for me because I'm doing both languages. For someone studying only one language, it wouldn't take as much time though. And what I mean by rewarding yourself is, for instance, if something pops into my head, like a song that I want to listen to, or a show that I want to watch, or I want to bake bread, for instance, I will always not do those things, but keep them in mind and think of them as a reward for getting all my studies done. If you start out your day differently and maybe start with watching some YouTube or start with scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, I feel, and it's happened to me, that you're less likely to actually get all your studying done and you're more likely to spend more time on those things than you actually want to. Tip number 2. Make a study spot. So I think this can be anywhere, but make sure that it is a place that you like being, comfortable, maybe with some things you like candles. Also importantly, make sure the space is free from any distractions. So I like to usually leave my phone in a different room, or books in a different room. I do use my computer for studying, so I try to close any tabs that aren't related to studying. This is just really important too, to get your mind into the study mode and to be focused. If your mind's ready to study, then you're going to absorb more, I think. Tip number 3 is one of my favorite things that I read in Atomic Habits, and that is the 2-minute rule. So basically, whatever habit that you want to establish, make sure that it can be done in 2 minutes. For studying, for instance, make a habit of, for 2 minutes a day, opening your notebook and looking at your notebook, or doing your flashcards. The point of this, obviously, is not to get you to fluency in a short amount of time. The point is to get you into the habit of studying every day. It's more important to do a little bit every day than it is to have a 5-hour study session on the weekend. Plus, once you've built the habit of studying every single day, even if it's just 2 minutes, you can improve from there. You can't improve a habit that doesn't exist. Even though I've been studying Japanese for a long time, I was in the habit of doing these spurts every time I had a desire to study. But that was not serving me very well in the long run. And I don't think I was making as much progress as I was tricking myself into believing I was making with these long study sessions, when I could have just been doing 10 minutes every day and it would have equaled about the same, and probably better. Tip number 4, track your study streak and never miss twice. So I keep a planner and I make sure to write down in my planner every single day, study Japanese and Spanish. And I can't check it off unless I've studied both languages. And that really motivates me to see all those check marks day after day. We all know that life happens though, so of course there's going to be a time when your chain breaks. Don't beat yourself up, that is life. Just make sure that you don't miss twice. How it's described in the book is missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. So make sure to start building a new streak after a streak ends. My fifth and final tip is to make friends. These can be fellow language learners or people who speak the language that you're trying to learn. Obviously, this can help for a couple reasons. One is that you can learn from these people. And two is that these people can keep you on track by being your accountability partner. Also, being involved with other people that are trying to learn the same language as you builds a sort of community. Humans are social animals, and we want to do the thing that other people are doing. So if you're around other people that make language learning an important part of their lives, that will rub off on you too and make you a better language learner. Feel free to reach out to me if you need an accountability partner and you're having trouble finding someone. I can always use more accountability partners too. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. And of course, comment or message me if you have any other questions or suggestions. And let me know what you're doing to advance your language learning goals. I wish you all the best of luck, and I'll see you next time.